Episode 56 CE. Maryland. CLID equals IWAR 13 WBKNNZXTF3 and LGSFYXLIDUS underscore J1OSFT JLFKPQMECFWY 906 JBOU underscore XQ. A University of Maryland health researcher probes the climate threat to those with chronic diseases. People living with heart and kidney ailments are particularly vulnerable to surging temperatures and extreme weather events, which can fatally interrupt their treatment, leading to death. April 7, 2023. Excerpts edited by Rozep for brevity and clarity. Patients are quickly evacuated from the Feather River Hospital as it burns down during the Camp Fire in Paradise, California on November 8, 2018. Amir Subkota keeps a close eye on weather anomalies such as late onset of snowfall or early snowmelt because, for one, they can prolong the forest fire season and lead to a variety of health hazards. It's also an occupational hazard, said Subkota, a professor and chair of the Department of Epidemiology and Biostatistics at the University of Maryland School of Public Health in College Park. Prolonged wildfires can lead to increased hospitalization and mortality, he said, especially at a time when global warming is fueling severe weather events such as heat waves. Minnesota. Popular downtown Grand Marais custard and pizza shop burns down, Star Tribune. Star Tribune. As he drove out of town, he got a phone call. Sydney's frozen custard and wood-fired pizza was on fire. The Cook County Sheriff's Office said the fire destroys popular North Shore frozen custard and pizza stop. KARE 11. KARE 11. Smoke fills the sun-splashed sky above Grand Marais as popular frozen custard and wood-fire pizza joint Sydney's is destroyed by fire. Courtesy Grand Marais Restaurant burns, news, weather, and sports from Duluth, Minnesota. Duluth News-Tribune. Sydney's frozen custard and wood-fired pizza was significantly damaged Monday. White smoke billows up from a burning building. Smoke rises from Sydney's. Mississippi, Pascagoula. CLID equals IWAR1BZH2Z71EDPDDCCX2986AQ3F3J2N2CGS5C5UG65A7 Pascagoula residents push for property buyout following more reports of strong industry odor. Pascagoula residents fight for better air quality. February 14, 2023. Excerpts edited by Rozep for brevity and clarity. Pascagoula, Mississippi, WLOX, a group of concerned citizens living near the Cherokee subdivision in Pascagoula, are fighting for better air quality in the flagship city by teaming up with a national organization full of promises. Over the years, a woman and a neighbor, who moved to Mohawk Avenue about 30 years ago, have taken air monitoring and testing on themselves. They also performed a health survey in the area back in January 2021. Last week, calls rang into the Mississippi Department of Environmental Quality. When we get the volume of complaints that we did this time, we knew something was going on, and we're still investigating what happened. Wells said his agency took 600 readings in over 60 locations last week. But on Tuesday, they're still unable to track down the source. In this case, we began the air monitoring during the time that the odor complaints were made aware. The Mississippi Department of Environmental Quality, MDEQ, has been awarded a grant from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency for year-long air monitoring in the Cherokee subdivision area. According to Wells, that funding is still on the way. In the meantime, residents will soon begin surveying 200 households over the next 2 months. Montana. Inside Climate News. Logging plan on Yellowstone's border shows limits of Biden greenhouse gas policy. Despite new guidance, the Forest Service moves to clear-cut mature pines in Montana without a detailed accounting of the cost in carbon emissions. April 7, 2023. Custer-Gallatin National Forest includes hundreds of glaciers as well as pine savannas. The Forest Service plans logging about 90 miles south of Fairy Lake in the Bridger Mountains. How auditing giant KPMG became a global sustainability leader while serving companies accused of forest destruction. Environmental auditors approve green labels for products linked to deforestation and authoritarian regimes. This story by Inside Climate News is part of Deforestation Incorporated, a global investigation by the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists. Excerpt edited by Rozep for brevity and clarity. U.S. government agencies are expected to quantify the climate impact of their actions under new guidance issued by President Joe Biden's administration at the start of this year. But last month, the U.S. Forest Service decided to move forward with a 16,000-acre logging project on the border of Yellowstone National Park without applying the new White House guidance, which would have involved a detailed projection of the resulting greenhouse gas emissions. The Forest Service said it was already in the final stages of developing its management plan for the South Plateau in Custer-Gallatin National Forest in Montana when the White House Council on Environmental Quality delivered the new guidance to federal agencies on January 9. As a result, the agency announced its decision on March 15 without calculating the cost of the sequestered carbon that would be released under the plan, which includes clear-cutting 5,500 acres of mature lodgepole pine trees and constructing 57 miles of logging roads in the heart of grizzly bear country. Instead, the Forest Service produced a brief analysis concluding that the climate impact was likely to be small and temporary. The decision raises questions about the practical import of such presidential guidance and other White House declarations and the Biden administration's overall commitment to arresting climate change. Even though Biden embraces the climate science that President Donald Trump rejected and has signed legislation pouring billions of federal dollars into addressing the crisis, the logging controversies suggest that he is far from achieving the kind of all-of-government urgency on climate that has been his stated goal. New Jersey, Crozier. Fresh start stolen from single NJ mom severely burned by wood-burning stove. Daily Voice. Daily Voice. Ansello was trying to light the wood-burning stove in her kitchen on Saturday, March 25, when the flames shot back at her, covering her legs in. Mom burned by wood-burning stove in new home recovering in Crozier. Daily Voice. Daily Voice. Jessica Ansello's new South Jersey home was supposed to be a fresh start. The 29-year-old Williamstown newly divorced mom of 2 toddlers hadn't. Mom burned by wood-burning stove in new home recovering in Crozier. April 8, 2023. Jessica Ansello's new South Jersey home was supposed to be a fresh start. The 29-year-old Williamstown newly divorced mom of 2 toddlers hadn't been living there for even a month when tragedy struck. Ansello was trying to light the wood-burning stove in her living room on Saturday, March 25, when someone in the home poured gas onto the wood, shooting flames shot back at Ansello's legs. A neighbor heard her screams and called 911. Since then, Ansello has been unable to walk.